Hey guys, what's up? It's Car9965 here. Doing a TNA Impact review tonight. But before I get into the Impact review tonight, I had uploaded a video earlier where I talked about 6 things I think that kill the wrestling business. And one of those 6 things that I had mentioned in the video that I think kills wrestling business, I mentioned wrestling fans. And I'm not going to go into detail about why I chose that as one of the 6 things in this video. If you want to find out, watch the video. But one thing I wanted to clarify was that when I mentioned wrestling fans as being one of the 6 things that kills wrestling business, I did not mean all wrestling fans. I mean just some in particular, and most of them being part of the internet wrestling community, the IWC. So when I made that statement in my video, I didn't clarify it like I should have. But yeah, so just want to let anybody know in that video, I wasn't talking about all wrestling fans, just some. So check that video out. So now I'm going to get into the Impact Wrestling review tonight. The show opens up with Bobby Roode and James Storm, coming out talking about their match that they'll be having later on during the night. Excuse me. And James Storm's like really fired up and stuff, and wants Bobby to put his best foot forward and stuff like that. And then after that, we get to the first match, which is Kazarian versus Gunner. This match was all right. Nothing against Kazarian. Love Frankie K. But like I said, Gunner's just, I don't like Gunner. But anyway, Gunner gets the win on Frankie Kazarian by making him, I think, tap out, submit. And after the match, he kept beating up on Kazarian. The referee told him to stop. He wouldn't. So the referee ended up reversing the decision, making Kazarian the winner. After that, I think we got like a backstage segment. I'm not sure. No, wait. After that, we got to another promo between Bully Ray and Mr. Anderson. Anderson, asking his fans, his a-hole fans, to forgive him and stuff like that, and challenges Bobby Roode to a Philadelphia street fight at Bound for Glory. He doesn't accept at all. He doesn't accept the challenge. Bully Ray doesn't accept the challenge at all, and just walks away. And then after that, we had a knockout tag match: Madison Rayne and Winter versus Mickie James and Velvet Sky. And before I get into the details in that match, wow, Mickie James got some new highlights in her hair. Looks like she lost some weight. Hot, 10 out of 10. Anyway, this match was alright. Just typical crappy knockout match. It wasn't horrible, God blood awful, but it was nothing. There was nothing right about it either. But Winter and Madison Rayne got the victory over Mickie James' Velvet Sky. And then after that, we got into a program with Anderson talking to not Anderson, but Mr. Kennedy talking to Eric Bischoff, talking about how he's disgraced with Jeff Hardy. And so Eric Bischoff, says, "Let me take care of Jeff, and you just sit tight back here, and I'll take care of Jeff myself." So then after that goes to the program where Jeff Hardy comes out, and Eric Bischoff comes out and calls out Jeff Hardy, tells Jeff Hardy, you're talented, you're charisma, you're charismatic, and you're a talented wrestler. But what you did at Victory Road, you're a screw job. I've never seen a bigger screw job in my entire life. You're done. Pretty much so-called, quote unquote, I guess, fired Jeff Hardy. And Jeff just kind of tells him, some people may agree with him, others may not, and he just kicks Bischoff in the guts, give him a twist of fate, and say, "Screw you." All the members of Immortal try to come out and gang up on Jeff, but Jeff quickly leaves the ring and walks out into the audience. So it's the end of that segment there. And then we get into the main event match, James Storm versus Bobby Roode. Really good match. The best match on the... No, wait, before that match, I'm sorry. Before that, we got a match, Samoa Joe versus Crimson. That was the other match we got. Samoa Joe versus Crimson. Um, this wasn't a bad match. This was decent. Um, you know, Samoa Joe pretty much once again just dominating like he always does in the ring, and he had Crimson like in a almost kind of like a I wouldn't say a half leg Boston Crab, but he took the knee of Crimson, which had a knee brace on it. It was kind of like adding pressure onto it. Crimson took Samoa Joe, rolled him up, and got the pin 1-2-3 win. So Crimson still undefeated and gets a second victory over on Samoa Joe. Wow, I feel so bad for Joe. Okay, then after that we get to our main event match: Bobby Roode, James Storm. Like I had mentioned before, this was a very good match, back and forth. I think tonight seeing Storm go toe to toe for Roode, I think he's kind of showing people, like, hey, he can go, in singles competition too. He's just as good. Although I prefer Bobby's style in wrestling better, more so than James Storm's, but still, I thought James did a good job in going back and forth with Bobby Roode. It wasn't one-sided. James Storm's really proved, that he could, like I said, he can go toe to toe and, with the big dogs too. But during that match, Kurt Angle, there was one incident where the referee was knocked out, James Storm was knocked outside of the ring, and Bobby was knocked out inside the ring. Kurt Angle quickly runs out, takes James Storm and rams him into the steel steps, and then throws him into the ring and runs back. And Bobby Roode, who has no idea of what happened between Kurt and Storm, covers James Storm. You think the referee is going to get a 3 count, but Storm ends up kicking out. Then James Storm was about to do the super call kick. Couldn't do it because it was quote unquote head being rammed to the steel chair. And Bobby Roode got the suplex on him, and he won. So this was a good match. And then after that, we got the main event. Well, not main event match, but I guess main event segment, whatever. Of Hulk Hogan coming out, and Hulk Hogan explaining, this is his, he's retiring. This is it. Hulkamania has been running wild for 30 years, and it's finally time to hang up the boots and just walk away and stuff like that. And he's gonna miss all his Hulkamaniacs and stuff like that. And then you get a surprisingly Hogan got a pretty good crowd reaction and pop from the people here in Tennessee. And then Sting comes out, and Sting shows everyone a surveillance camera of Hogan and Bischoff talking and saying how they got everyone hook, line, and center, and and having Hogan and making people believe that Hulk Hogan is going to actually retire when he's not. And so I guess Sting exposed more dirt on Hogan, proving that Hogan was lying. And then Hogan got so upset and pissed off at Sting. He's like, you want to fight, you're never going to get a fight out of me or something like that. So, but you want it, you got it. It's me versus you at Bound for Glory. And if I lose, I'll hand the company back over to you and Dixie Carter. And then Hogan kind of caught himself, and then Sting's like, that's all I wanted, bye-bye, and he just leaves the ring. And Hogan is standing there shocked because he finally realized what he just said, which was that if he loses at BFG, he'll give the company back to Dixie Carter. And that was the end of Impact. So all in all, I thought Impact wasn't a bad show. It was decent, for what it was. Could have had a little bit better matches, other than the Roode match. And like I said, the Crimson and Joe match was decent for what it was. But I think I would like to have seen a little bit more better matches than the last 2 matches. I would have liked it to have been better than what they were. But not the last 2, but the first 2 matches. So I rate TNA. I give it a 3 out of 5. I give it a 3 out of 5. That's a nice show. It wasn't bad. It wasn't snorefest like most Impacts are. Last week I thought was pretty decent as well. And just seeing TNA in Tennessee, seeing TNA in Tennessee, and when they were in a couple other places like last month, and they did some tape shows in some other states. Um, TNA looks like more of a predominant company, and that's the point that I was making in my video when I mentioned of the 6 things that I think that kills the wrestling business. Is that, I want TNA to succeed. Looking at TNA tonight at Tennessee in a different arena with, say probably about look like it might have been about like 8,000 people in attendance, 8 to 10,000. You take that look of that arena tonight and the program tonight versus TNA in the Impact Zone last week. TNA looks so much better tonight than the program when they on Thursdays when they're in the Universal Studios. So I really hope nothing but the best for TNA. I hope that they do, like I say, cut all the crap that they've been pulling over the last 2 years, travel more, and everything else, because it looks better. It looks like a better prominent wrestling company. When you're in different states and you travel and you have more people and stuff in attendance, it looks more legit, and also you'll attract more actual TNA fans or wrestling fans, other than having the same old people, coming in the building every week who aren't wrestling fans but tourists. So that's my review on TNA Impact. But one thing I also want to mention too was this thing about Hulk Hogan, this announcement. Now he has it, now in storyline, he has it, if he loses, he'll give the company back to Dixie and Sting. And I think that they might have added the stipulation into the match because I've done some research on some stuff, and it's being said, if not a known fact, that more like it's a known fact, that Hulk Hogan's contract is expiring with TNA this year, like at the end of this year. I think like no later than November, like the 3rd week of November to like around December-ish. Hulk Hogan's contract expires with TNA. If that's the case, if Hulk Hogan's contract does expire with TNA at the end of this year, I hope TNA does not re-sign him. I really do. Because since Hogan and Bischoff have been in TNA, they've done nothing really great for the company. They really haven't. And TNA has gone through, some of the stuff that TNA has, that they're suffering now, they've been going through and suffered before Hogan and Bischoff came in. But since Hogan and Bischoff have come in, they've added more coal to a fire that was already under TNA, if that makes any sense. They've added more problems to what the problems that TNA has already had before they came in. The only thing I'd give credit for when it comes to Hogan and Bischoff coming in is that they brought in some big, major key player stars since coming into TNA. Guys like Jeff Hardy, whatever you guys think of him, Jeff Hardy, Ken Anderson, Rob Van Dam, what's his name? Austin Aries. Although Austin Aries is no stranger to TNA, he's been in TNA in times past, but still, I'm just speaking for some talent that has come since Hogan and Bischoff has been here in TNA. Those are the only good things I see that came from TNA since Hogan and Bischoff has stepped in, was these big key player names in TNA. So, like I said, they might be doing this as a way. So, like I said, so to say that if Hogan loses to Sting, that he'll give the company back to Dixie, this might be their way, storyline-wise, of acting out Hulk Hogan of TNA altogether. They might not re-sign his contract. Realistically, they might not re-sign Hogan's contract, and hopefully, I hope they don't. And I don't know, maybe Bischoff has a different contract than Hogan. Maybe his contract might expire too. But I hope I hope Bischoff's contract doesn't get renewed either. Hogan and Bischoff need to leave TNA. Vince Russo as well, but realistically speaking, Dixie's kept Russo this long in TNA. I don't think she's going to get rid of him anytime soon. But Hogan and Bischoff, as for them, they need to go. If Hogan and Bischoff leave TNA, I believe TNA would get a little bit better, honestly. So let me know what you guys thought of tonight's Impact. Comment, subscribe, and also let me know what you guys think of Hogan, being if he loses to Sting, then he would give the company back to Dixie, quote unquote. And like I said, his contract. I've done my research on it. You guys can do it yourself as well. That Hogan's contract does expire with TNA, and that you think he should stay in TNA, or should he, not resign with TNA, or TNA not resign his contract at all? So let me know what you guys think on that. And tonight's Impact. Comment, subscribe, like the video. Peace out.